Hey everyone, my name is Jon Venus. Welcome back to another topic video. Today we're going to be tackling vegan bodybuilding macros, which means we're going to be talking about protein, carbs, and fats on a plant-based diet that is suitable for building muscle and improving athletic performance. So a lot of people have recently watched the movie or the documentary called The Game Changers, and you're probably pumped up, ready to go for it, ready to build muscle on a completely vegan diet, but you don't know how to get enough protein and you don't know what to eat to achieve the goals that you want to achieve, right? So that's where I come into play. So with 5 years of experience doing this already and knowing so many other people who have done it for decades and coaching over 1,000 people myself on this diet, I can comfortably tell you guys that it's not as complicated as you may think. Now, I already know what's gonna happen in the comment section of this video, and it's all gonna be, hey John, what you're recommending is wrong. It's not enough protein. This science shows that you need 2 grams per pound, and this science shows that you need 1.5 grams per pound, and you're wrong. So before we go crazy on the comment section, let me just tell you that we do not know the actual requirements for protein for optimal muscle building for each individual person. There's so many conflicting studies. We don't know what the optimal rate is. Some studies will be showing optimal protein synthesis on a very low protein diet, while others will be showing an optimal protein synthesis rate on a much higher protein level. I know it doesn't make sense that we can send monkeys into space, but we can't figure out how much protein we need, but that's just the reality of it. Okay, let's start off by talking about protein. So how much protein do we actually need as a vegan who's looking to build muscle? So, as I said before, we don't know exactly because there's so many different things from absorption rates to lifestyle factors like stress, sleep. There's so many things that can play a role in how much protein and calories in general you're gonna be needing per day. So it's really hard for me to give a general recommendation, but I can tell you that out of the 5 years I've been coaching clients on a very, very consistent basis, the amount of protein that I recommend is about 20% of their calories coming from protein, and that comes to around 0.65 to 0.7 grams per pound of lean body mass. And that is on the higher end in my opinion, especially because I know so many people who are even, have more muscles than me who have gone a lot lower than that, right? So let's use me as an example. I am 210 pounds, and if I get 0.65 grams per pound of body weight, I'm not even gonna use lean body mass right now, but for body weight in general, with fat, muscle, bones, everything included, I would be needing 136 grams of protein per day, which is about what I get on a consistent basis, and I've been able to build all of the muscle that I built so far on this amount. So if you weigh 170 pounds, you'll be needing about 110 grams of protein. So I already know that a lot of people, especially if you're coming from the bodybuilding industry like I did before as well, I believe that this was way too low. There's no way I can build muscle on this amount of protein. But the truth is that we can, and people are just not willing to try it, right? We've been told over and over again by the supplement industry, by the bodybuilding community, that we need 1 gram per pound of body weight at least to make optimal gains. So why would we even risk it, right? So that's the mindset that I had when first going vegan. I can't risk losing all my muscle mass. There is no way I can get 200 grams of protein on this vegan diet eating whole foods. It's impossible. So I thought I was gonna lose all my muscle mass, but the opposite happened. Because of the actual whole plant foods that I was consuming, the healthy nutrients that I was taking into my body, I was able to perform even better, recover faster, and build more muscle as a result. Trust me guys, I've seen vegans who are 250 pounds who eat under 100 grams of protein per day. How is that possible, right? What I always ask to challenge my viewers is just to ask yourself where the protein is going, right? So if you're eating 200 grams of protein per day, those 200 grams are not converting into muscle overnight, are they? If not, we'll all look like Arnold in a matter of weeks. Just remember guys, an average person only needs 50 to 70 grams of protein per day to maintain optimal health. Why will we need 5 times the amount just because we're lifting weights for 1 hour a day? It does not make any sense, right? So to conclude the protein side of things, I recommend about 0.65 to 0.8 grams per pound of protein if you're a serious weightlifter or bodybuilder. You may want to go higher if you're cutting down in body weight. So if you're trying to get contest ready, or prepping for a photo shoot and you're on a very large caloric deficit, which means you're eating way fewer calories than you actually need to maintain your current body weight, then it is a good idea to increase your protein amount quite a bit because you want to preserve muscle mass, right? So in a very big deficit, I do recommend going up to maybe 30% of your calories from protein, maybe even higher sometimes. But as a general recommendation, just don't worry about protein, guys. It's never been an issue. It will never be an issue. Just look at the examples that exist out there of people who are eating lower protein diets and are jacked. Next up, let's talk about carbohydrates, another very important macronutrient and very talked about macronutrient in the fitness and health space. A lot of people assume and think that carbohydrates are horrible for your health, that they lead to weight gain, they lead to diabetes, and all sorts of health consequences, right? Most of us now know that when you're eating carbohydrates, it is not the same as eating, candy and Pop-Tarts and these things, right? Carbohydrates can mean healthy whole plant foods like oatmeal, quinoa, beans. There's so many healthy carbohydrate sources out there, and we can't compare, whole food carbs to processed junk food carbs. So carbohydrates are extremely important for bodybuilding. I personally believe that they're actually more important than protein in terms of building muscle optimally and performance in a gym or your athletic endeavor. And why is that? It's because our bodies are using carbohydrates constantly as a source of energy, right? Our brain uses carbs, our muscles store a lot of glycogen, and we need that to perform at our optimal rate. So avoiding carbs and restricting carbs is a really not so smart idea because that will decrease your performance. It'll make muscle gaining way harder. So that's why we never see athletes on a ketogenic diet or bodybuilders on a ketogenic diet either. Now, as a vegan, I do actually believe that there is no limit to how many carbohydrates that you can eat. Now, if you're a vegan bodybuilder, you really want to base your diet around complex whole food carbohydrates as a majority source of calories for the day. So naturally, if you're eating a lot of whole foods, you will get a lot of carbohydrates into you. And this is a great thing. Carbohydrates do not make you fat. It does not lead to weight gain more than if you were to eat a low carb, high fat diet. We've already seen the studies showing the rebound effect of people who go on a low carb diet, who gain all their weight back after a couple of months. So we don't want to restrict carbohydrates. It's not sustainable. It's not what our bodies are designed to do. I'm eating probably over 300 grams of carbohydrates every single day, maybe even more sometimes. And the result is just more energy, more ability to recover from heavy workouts, which means you can do more volume, push more weight, and make more gains, right? The carbohydrates was the thing that actually transformed my body once I went vegan. It wasn't the protein, it wasn't the fats, it was the amount of carbohydrates I was adding into my diet. So that is what I recommend. Around 60% of your calories coming from carbohydrates is a good starting point. Try that out. You can always experiment with these numbers. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but just please understand that carbohydrates are gonna be your best friend, whether you're eating meat or not, to be honest. We all need carbohydrates and a good amount of them to perform well in the gym and build optimal muscle mass. And finally, let's talk about fats. Fats is extremely important and I think the most overlooked macronutrient out there when it comes to health and fitness. Fats are so important for hormonal health and skin health. So many things come from having enough fats in your diet, right? We don't need a ton of fat, but we do need some. And one of the biggest mistakes that vegans do or new vegans do is eliminating or trying to avoid as many fats as possible. As you can imagine, that is a big problem, right? Because we need fats to optimize our hormones. We need fats to absorb those fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K. And we also need fats to satiate ourselves when eating our meals, right? Because fat is really satiating. It helps with satiety. It helps you feel full for longer so you don't have to eat as many meals constantly. So it's really important to get a good amount of protein, carbs, and fat. Again, it comes back to not restricting or eliminating a certain macronutrient. I believe in a balanced approach, and I've seen everyone do the same when it comes to a successful, healthy vegan diet. It's about including all the macronutrients in a balanced way, eating the whole range of foods instead of eliminating certain macros. So don't eliminate anything. Please still include fats and carbs and protein into your diet no matter what you choose to do. What I typically recommend is about 20% of calories coming from fats as well. and so that means 60% from carbs, 20% protein, 20% fats. And that is a general recommendation that I give to all of my clients to start off with, right? Now, it's really important to discuss how fats can be a problem, right? There is a reason why people are afraid of eating so many carbs and then eating fats at the same time, right? Because we're told that we can't combine carbs and fats. If we do that, our body's confused, doesn't know what to do, and just stores everything as fat, right? Now, it's true to a certain extent that you don't want to combine a lot of carbs and a lot of fats. In my experience, this is only an issue if your calories are, way overboard, way higher than your maintenance calories, and also if your fats are, way too high. At the 20% range, I haven't seen anyone struggle with this issue, so I think that is a really safe zone in terms of, bodybuilding and fitness and fat loss. But I do know some people, perform better with higher amounts of fats. Some people perform better with lower amounts of fats. So this is something that you have to experiment yourself. But whatever you do, just don't experiment with removing fats. At least keep 15 to 20% of your calories coming from fats, and then you can experiment from there. At the end of the day, guys, macros are just one piece to the puzzle. It's a much less significant piece than the actual food that you're eating yourself. Instead of looking at things as numbers and math and macros, we have to be looking at things from a complete perspective. We have to look at food as the fuel that needs to go into our bodies. Instead of just thinking about protein, carbs, and fats, we have to look at the nutrition, the nutrients, the vitamins and minerals, and the omegas, and all these things that foods include, so we can eat the food that will benefit us the most without having to stress and struggle, worrying about where we're gonna get our next 5 grams of protein from, right? So it's all about choosing the foods that will benefit you the most, and the macros will come automatically after that. Of course, it's gonna be difficult, a little bit harder in the start, like it is for anything new that you embark on, but eventually it'll get so easy that it's gonna become second nature. I never think about getting my protein in. I don't think about getting my fats and carbs in. It's all automatic, all natural. I have zero anxiety or stress over my diet at all. I'm making this because I want you guys to just get rid of the idea that it has to be rocket science. It's not that hard. And eventually it'll become so easy, and I want you guys to experience this vitality, this energy, this excitement for life, just like I'm experiencing right now. And I hope this video does give you a little bit of insight of how vegan bodybuilders structure their macronutrients. But again, remember, the calories, the food source, and the nutrition is way more important than macros. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please share this with your friends who need to know this information. And if you're looking for a coach or a meal plan to follow, you can visit the link in the description box below. We offer coaching and loads of amazing plans that have worked for thousands of people out there. So check that out. And as always, I'll see you very soon. Peace out.